Hey, this is Ron Simplified Myers again. I'm real excited to see you here at step number 3. We talked about it step number 1 about the thoughts which we don't have control over, but that's okay because in step number 2 we took control of those thoughts by understanding that we write our stories and we take control of our stories, which in turn is us actually taking control of those thoughts. Step number 3 are from stories you're going to feel a certain way because of the stories that you've written. That's why when people are sad, I tell people it's not hard to understand why you're sad. You wrote sad stories. I mean, if I listen to the story you wrote, I feel sad. If you wrote a depressing story and I took it in the same way you did, I'd be depressed too. See, the key is the stories will determine how you feel. Change your stories, change your feelings. You do it all the time. So let's talk about this feelings thing and why is it important for us to get control of our stories and determine our feelings. Now, Michael Losier, who I talked about a little bit earlier, he talks about vibration because every feeling that we have creates a vibration, whether it's negative or positive. If it's a negative vibration, then you're bringing negative forces towards you. If you're positive, you're bringing positive forces towards you. So you can understand why it's important to get control of that if you believe in what he just said, which I do. Esther and Jerry Hicks, which is another couple that I listen to, most of the people that you listen to in the law of attraction trainings will tell you that their mentor is Esther and Jerry Hicks. Very powerful series. Get a hold of it, listen to it. You'll learn a lot from it. Now they talk about getting in touch with source, and source is whatever it is for you, whether it is the vibration, whether it's feelings. For me, it's God. I'm not telling you how to feel. What your source is, but whatever your source is, you have to get in contact with that source. And you'll know if you just think about how am I feeling right now. If you're feeling good, you're in connection with that source. Again, whatever that source may be. If you're feeling bad, you're feeling depressed, then you're moving away from that source. And the more depressed you are, the further you have actually moved from that source. The reason is that source is actually there to help you live and prosper and to be happy. I know there's an old song that says just be happy. Folks, that song is so powerful that most of us never got it. I didn't get it until I really started learning the law of attraction. Your purpose in life, and everybody's trying to figure out their purpose. You have one purpose. Be happy. I know that sounds simple, but that's it. Be happy. Because if you believe in your source and you understand that your source is looking out for your best interests, then there's no worries for you to begin with. People are saying, but what about my dreams? What about my goals? Don't you understand your source knows what those are? The only thing that you have to do is tell the source, this is what I want. And you focus on it. And the source force, whatever works, will actually start bringing whatever it is that you need to accomplish your goal towards you. I didn't say sit at home and just dream about it and it will show up at your doorstep. Now, what might show up at your doorstep is the opportunity to reach that goal, but you still got to get off the couch and do something when the opportunity presents itself. I'm watching how things that I wanted, they're just showing up, and I'm like, wow, man, this is amazing. It's just lining up perfect. Matter of fact, I couldn't have designed it any better. That are what we call coincidences. When you're thinking about a friend and they call, or I was thinking about a friend and someone else called me and said, "Hey, have you talked to Charles in a while?" I was like, "Wow." And that's the only thing he brought up. And I'm like, where did that come from? Just out of the blue. I had forgot he even knew Charles because that's somebody we grew up when we were little kids. I didn't even know he knew Charles, but that was the extent of the conversation because neither one of us had heard from him. But is that amazing? I didn't say anything about Charles. He just during the conversation, I'm like, man, what you been up to? He's like, not much. Hey, have you heard from Charles? I'm like, wow. I mean, so that's probably happened with all of us. That's called vibration, connecting with the source, God hearing your questions. Whatever it is works for you, you have to get in contact with that. So, with that said, get control of those feelings. I mean, recognize the feelings, I should say, and then understand that if it's the wrong feeling, guess why the feelings are wrong, are not lining up, I should say. We don't want to call you wrong. We're just saying why they're not lining up. Because of the stories, back to step two, that you have created. And you need to go in and change those stories so that you can change the way you feel. And as you correct those stories, the better you start feeling lets you know you're moving in the right direction. I mean, think about that. If it's just that simple where I just fine tune it and I'm starting to feel better, then that means, okay, this story must be working because I'm feeling better. It is. Your only purpose in life is to be happy. That's it. Now, we get out of line a lot of times, so we got to get better at writing our stories, step two, so that we can get back in line. Because again, for me, and I'm not telling you what to believe, I know God got me covered. And because of that, all I have to do is let him know this is what I want. I focus on it. I'm open for the resources that are going to come in my direction. And then I take advantage of those resources. So if you guys follow that, I didn't say again, sit at home and wait for everything to be delivered to your step. I did say the resources can show up and shock you out of the blue. But you still are going to have to do something when it shows up. Because how do you grow if all you do is sit there and someone else does it for you? I don't care who it is. So I hope you guys got that. That's step three. It's the most powerful force, which is the law of attraction.